Hey yogis, welcome to Vinyasa and Vines. Today I'm going to take you through a 30-minute Vinyasa flow that's good for any level and any time of day. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start in child's pose, big toes together, knees apart as wide as you would like. Walk your hands out and fold forward.
While we're in this child's pose, I want you to think about an intention that you would like to set for this practice. How do you want to feel after this practice is over? Do you want to feel nourished? Are you seeking clarity while you're on your mat? If you are seeking clarity, what are you looking for? This is also a good time to start working with an affirmation. The affirmation I'm going to be working with today is, I am an eternal being connected to everything around me. I am an eternal being connected to everything around me. What does that affirmation mean for you? What do you feel connected to? Or rather, what do you feel disconnected to? Take 3 more deep breaths into this child pose. Go ahead and walk your hands in and come to a tabletop pose. Hands under your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. We're going to thread the needle. So on an inhale, right arm rises up. Shift and shine your heart to the right. And then thread your right arm, palm facing up underneath your upper body. Walk your left hand out forward and press into that left arm. Push your hips over to the right because sometimes they want to collapse and shift over to the left. So you want to make sure that you keep your hips above your knees. Walk that left hand back in, and we're going to re-extend our right arm. So we want to think about stacking both of our shoulders on top of each other as that right arm reaches up to the sky. Release. Let's thread the needle on the opposite side. Inhale, left arm rises. Chest is opening up to the left. Exhale, thread that left arm through. Walk the right arm forward. Keep your hips over your knees. Try to relax your head and your neck. Go ahead and walk that right arm back in. Re-extend the left arm up. Shift your gaze upward. Release. Back in tabletop position, let's take some cat and cows. Inhale. Drop the belly, lift the gaze, tailbone up. Exhale, round chin to chest. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, big inhale. Shine your heart forward, shift your gaze upward. Pull your shoulders back. Exhale, round it up. Come to a neutral spine. Extend your right leg back behind you. And then go ahead and cross your right leg over your left leg, Push into your hips as you shift your gaze to look at your foot behind you. Feel your breath traveling into that side body. Don't bend into your elbows. Inhale, walk it back in. Other side. Left leg extends back behind you. Cross it over your right, look over your right shoulder. Press your hips to the left and breathe into that side body. Press into your heel. Bring it back through to center. So we're going to do something similar to cat and cow. We're going to do our tiger curls. So on an inhale, you're going to drop your belly, lift your gaze, as well as lift your right leg up into a back bend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Last one. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, point through the toes. Keep that hip rotating down. Now stay here if you would like, but if you would like a deeper back bend, go ahead and lift your left arm back, reach it back to grab your right foot. Try to keep your chest facing down and try to keep your hip and your knee at the same level, facing the mat, not rolling over to the side. Exhale, release, cat pose. Let's take that to the other side. So inhale, belly drops, left leg rises. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, last one. If you did tiger pose on the opposite side, go ahead and reach your right arm back for your left foot. Breathe deep here. See if you can squeeze into your glutes and lift up just a little higher. Exhale, release. So on an inhale, we're gonna lift our right leg back up like we did for our tiger curls, but this time instead of knee to nose, we're gonna pull it all the way through to our low lunge Anjaneyasana. So inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, knee to nose, shift your gaze forward, plant that foot between your palms, and come up to your low lunge Anjaneyasana, arms rise. Now you don't want to dump all your weight into your lower back and go into a back bend. You want to think about pressing into both feet, curling your tailbone down and keeping your spine straight. Exhale, let's come into our half splits. Press into your right heel. Upper body shifts forward. Keep the foot flexed. No rounding. If you need to use 2 blocks here to decrease the distance between your hands and the floor, you can do that. Come back into your low lunge. Right foot comes back into tabletop position. Inhale, other side. Left leg rises, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Squeeze into the glutes. Exhale, round it in. Step the left foot forward. Low lunge. Tailbone is tucked in. I'm thinking about putting weight into my left foot and dragging my left foot back while keeping my hips straight and square to the front of the mat. Exhale, arms come down, push into the left heel, half splits. Exhale, bend into your left knee and come back to kneel on your mat. Inhale, arms rise. We're going to take a twist. Right arm comes to left knee, left arm comes behind you. Lengthen up through your spine. Exhale, release. Other side. Inhale. Exhale, left hand to left knee, right arm comes behind you. Exhale to release. Come into easy child's pose. Fold forward, arms back. I am an eternal being connected to everything around me. Inhale to press back up. And let's come into our plank pose. Walk your hands forward, hand palms underneath your shoulders, feet back. So I'm thinking about creating one long line from the crown of my head to my tailbone, not rounding my back, I'm not dropping my hips. And I'm gonna come all the way down. Hands come back to my ribs, press up into cobra. Press into the tops of the feet. Shift the gaze up. Exhale. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Paddle the feet out here. Push into all 10 fingers to take the weight off your wrist. Curl your tailbone up as you press your chest towards your thighs. Walk the feet to the front of the mat. Fold in your ragdoll pose. You can hold on to opposite elbows. You can sway side to side. Exhale, release all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands on your knees, flat back. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, bend into the knees, push into the feet, come all the way up. Arms circle up overhead, palms come together to touch. Hands at the heart, Anjali Mudra. So we're gonna take 3 rounds of sun salutation. So starting from mountain pose, inhale, arms rise. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step it back to plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into the feet. Chest shines forward, arms rise, palms come together to touch, Anjali Mudra. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step the feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend into the knees, fold. Inhale, press into the feet, rise all the way back up. Hands come together to touch, Anjali Mudra. Last round. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, palms come down, step back to plank. Inhale, your half push-up, chaturanga. Elbows hug into the ribs. Point your toes back. Upward dog. Hips come up and back. Downward facing dog. Now you're going to step your feet to the top of the mat. Big toes together, heels apart. And before you rise, bend into the knees, arms come up for your chair pose. Biceps along the ears. Hands come together to touch. Bring your hands to heart center. Now you can stay here, or we're going to come into our prayer twist. Left elbow is going to hook over your right knee. Keep your palms pressing together and think about activating through your core so you can twist from your torso, not your hips. Glance down at your knees and make sure that your left knee is not coming in front of your right knee. Put weight into your right foot and step back into your high lunge prayer twist. Knee is over the foot. Thigh is as parallel to the mat as you can get it. Plant both palms down to the mat. Step your right foot back and come to downward dog. Now, here we have the option to take our vinyasa, which is going to plank, chaturanga, upward dog, and then back to downward dog. So we're going to do that now, or you can just stay in downward dog. So inhale, ripple forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Step your feet to the top of the mat. We're going to do that on the second side. So get ready for chair pose. Big toes together, heels apart. Come on up, arms rise up, chair pose. Biceps along your ears. Sink down into your hips. Support your weight with your heels. Palms come together at the heart. This time, right elbow hooks over your left knee. Twist through your rib cage. Now, put weight on your left foot and with gentle care, place your right foot back behind you for our high lunge prayer twist. If you lose your balance, that's okay. Chest is shining up and forward, not down to the ground. Exhale, release. Step back to downward dog. Paddle the feet out here. Now take your vinyasa, or we meet in downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your feet to the front of the mat. Take your ragdoll fold. A slight bend in your knee is fine here. Press into the feet, rise all the way up. Hands rise up, heart center. From here, we're gonna come into our tree pose. So start to lean your weight onto your left foot. Pick your right foot up And you're gonna place the sole of your right foot somewhere on the inside of your left thigh. So the closer you have it into your pelvis, the more intense the stretch is going to be. But you can also just place your foot on the inside of your calf as well, if that is easier for your balance. So find the position on the inside of your left leg that is comfortable for you. Make sure that your hips are staying even. Press your thigh into the sole of your foot. And once you find your balance, inhale, arms rise and grow a few branches of your tree in tree pose. Tailbone is curling down. Shoulders are squeezing back and down away from your ears. Exhale, release. Let's do tree pose on the other side. Put weight on your right leg. Lift your left leg and gently place it on the inside of your right thigh. Keep your hips even and square. Push that left thigh open. And when you found your center of balance, sprout some branches from your tree. Shoulders drawn down away from your ears. Activate through the core. Exhale, release. Let's take our flow. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, swan dive forward. Halfway lift, flat back. Plant your palms, step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg rises for our three-legged dog. Step that foot forward between the palms for warrior two. So in warrior two, your front leg and your back leg are on a tightrope. So my heel and the ball of my back foot are in line for this pose. My knee is over my ankle, my thigh is parallel to the mat. I'm curling my tailbone under, but I'm encouraging this knee to stay open, back leg parallel to the mat. Arms reach out, palms facing down. Breathe deep here in this strong, strong pose. On an inhale, push into your right foot and straighten it out. And then you're going to put your left hand on your hips, and with your right arm, you're going to let your right arm pull you forward with a straight back until you can't go forward anymore. Then you're going to hinge at your hips and place your hand down, whatever is comfortable for you. Chest is shining up and out for Trikonasana, our triangle pose. Inhale, use core strength to lift back up. Come back into our warrior two, bend into your right knee. Straighten that right knee, bring both feet parallel to the short edge of the mat. Hands on your hips, slowly hinge forward from the hips with a flat back. Hands come down to the ground for our wide-legged forward fold. Walk your hands underneath you and find balance in your feet. You can play with the distance of your feet if you would like. Whatever arm variation is appropriate for you. Inhale, hands on your hips. Push into the feet, lift all the way up. Now turn your left foot facing the back side of your mat. We're gonna take warrior two on the other side facing the back of our mat. Arms reach up.
You want to think about keeping your chest and your hips in one line while pushing that knee out. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Right hand comes to your hips. Reach out before folding down. Left arm rises for our triangle pose. Gaze up at your thumb if it's okay for your neck. Bend into that front knee, come back into Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten the left knee, pivot that left foot. We're coming back into our wide-legged forward fold. Inhale to create length through your spine. Exhale as you hinge at your hips and fold down. Hands come down to the mat. Let your head and neck be heavy. Go ahead and walk your hands out so that they're underneath your chest. Come to a flat back, hands on your hips. Press into your feet to lift you all the way back up. Now from here, we're just going to wiggle our feet back in, and we're going to come down to Malasana. So arms rise, hands come together to touch, hands at the heart, Anjali Mudra, and then you're going to sink down into your yogi squat. It's really important that you keep your heels on the ground for this pose. If you have to take a blanket to pad underneath your heels, you can do that as well. The farther you have your heels away from each other, the easier it will be to keep your heels on the ground. The closer you have them in, the more difficult it will be. So find the angle and the distance that's comfortable for you, and use your elbows to press into your thighs. And think about your tailbone pulling down and the crown of your head pulling up. Chest is shining forward. Now with care, come all the way down to take a seat. Bring your left leg in, extend your right leg out. Inhale for a side bend, Janu Shirshasana. Right arm goes down your right leg, left arm comes up and over. Breathe into that side body here. Chest is shining up. Exhale, plant your left palm back behind you. Right arm swings up and out as you press your hips up for baby wild thing. Exhale, release. Now fold all the way over that right leg. Inhale, press into your hands to come back. Let's do that on the other side. Bring your right leg in, left leg extends out. Both sit bones grounded to the mat. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to bend over to the left. Pull your shoulders back. Let your chest shine up and forward. Plant your right palm behind you. Left hand circles up and over. Press into the hips for baby wild thing. Exhale, fold all the way over your left leg.
passive forward fold here. Inhale, press into the mat and come all the way up. Bring your feet out in front of you. We're going to come into seated pigeon. Right leg or right ankle crosses over your left knee. Bend into your left knee and walk that left knee into you. Press into your hands to lift your chest. And maybe do a rocking motion side to side. Keep your foot flexed to protect your knee, and you're pushing your knee away from you. Exhale, release, switch sides. Left ankle crosses over your right knee. Walk your right leg in. Shoulders are pulling back and down. Chest is shining forward. Both sit bones are grounded to the mat. Exhale, release. Let's come to lie down all the way on our backs. Let's take a reclined twist. So with both feet planted on the ground, you're going to cross your right leg over the top of your left leg. Shift your hips over to the right as you let your hips drop over to the left. Reach out with your right arm and look over your right shoulder. Both shoulders should be planted on the ground. You shouldn't be lifting up. Inhale, knees come back to center. Other side. Left leg crosses over the right. Hips come over to the left. Knees drop down to the right. Left arm extends out, perhaps shifting your gaze over your left shoulder. Think about how your body feels right now versus at the beginning of our practice today. Inhale, knees rise. Pull your knees into your chest and give them a big hug. Massage your lower back by rocking side to side. Exhale, release as we come into Shavasana, our final resting pose. Take up as much space as you would like here. Maybe come back to your intention that you set at the beginning of this practice. Come back to your affirmation. I am an eternal being connected to everything around me. Breathe deeply. Find anywhere in your body that might still be holding tension. And gently encourage yourself to let that tension go. Give yourself permission here
to relax fully. Congratulate yourself and thank yourself for setting aside this time for you today. Start to bring some movement back into your body. Maybe wiggling your fingers or your toes. Maybe stretch your arms out overhead for a big stretch. You can't do a big stretch without saying big stretch. Then slowly roll over to one side and come up to take a seat. Thank you so much, yogis, for doing this 30-minute vinyasa flow with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were able to set your intention, and you really, really need to thank yourself for setting aside this time for yourself today. I hope to see you again soon. Grow with the flow, yogis. Namaste.